Hi, Julia Omore. Welcome to PENZI HALISI. And today we have Mr. and Mrs. Wasamu. And you know, like the way elections are near, and there's so much that is happening, and people are becoming so tribal. And today, you know, we have a couple who have lived, and you know, they're just from different tribes. They'll tell us anyway. They'll tell us more about it. And we want to encourage people that, you know, be there for your brother, be your brother's keeper, love your brother, you know. And every tribe is just unique in its own way. So let us embrace our tribes. Amen. Karibuni sana. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know you guys, you're so busy, and I really thank God for you, and thank you for invitation. Thank you so much for coming. So tell us, hey, wacha ni start na Pasi. Moses, tell us about everything, not everything about yourself.
I'm Moses Wasamu, and I'm born again. A pastor with the Kenya Assemblies of God. We pastor in Thika, ICC Thika. And I also work for SACCO, Kenya Assemblies of God SACCO.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I work as a loans manager.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's who I am.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. Pastor, karibu sana Pastor Shiko.
Santi.
Yeah. So tell us about you. Who is Shiko? Who is Pastor Shiko?
Well, Pastor Shiko, I'm a pastor with Kenya Assemblies of God, and I'm born again. We pastor with him at Thika. That is where we are, ICC Thika, in a mall called Ananas, along the Thika Garissa Road. Yeah, you'll find a mall at Makongeni. That is where we are, the first floor, and that is where we worship, and we thank God because it's a new church, by the way. We just started. Yeah, wow. We just started. We went there last year. We've been in Nairobi, and so we went to Thika last year. Then COVID came, so we were not able to begin. But at the end of the year last year, around there, around September, October. We began the church. We began as fellowship, and we thank God because we are growing.
Wow.
We are growing. We are seeing God doing His work.
Wow.
You know, we can't say it's how good we are, it's how unique we are. No, this is the work of God.
By the grace of God.
It is by the grace of God. So, yeah, you'll find us there at Ananas Mall.
Ananas
that
Mall.
is where you will find us. And we have our fellowship every Sunday from 10. 10, it's a connecting hour. And then 11, we begin our service.
Wow.
Yes.
You have any children?
Yes, we have. We have one child called Favor. She's Julie Favor Wasamu.
Wow, my name's... That's okay.
And she has added her name, another name. She's calling herself Amani.
Amani, wow.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
So tell us how you met.
Okay, how we met.
We met some maybe 20 years ago, something like that. Yeah, we actually I had been invited to go to their church by a friend who was also my lecturer in the university. So he invited me to the church. So when I went there, and I think that day she was
the hospitality room.
Yeah, she was in the hospitality room. I mean, after the service, then we went to the hospitality room where they used to meet with visitors and talk with them. Yeah.
That time she was still a pastor.
Yes.
Yes. I want to.
And so I saw her, and I liked her.
The first day you just liked her.
Of course.
Oh,
I mean,
that is beautiful.
And then after that we started talking, and then things happened.
Were you like that time, you know, you are not preaching and you know she's a pastor? Were you like intimidated, like she's a pastor and you're not a pastor, you know, you're called differently? How was it?
I was not intimidated because I think I was looking at her just like, I mean, she's a believer, I'm a believer. And she's, I mean, I was just thinking of her, looking at her like any other girl, the way you talk to any other
lady.
Yeah,
So the pastor thing was not, that is just a title. That was not Shiko.
it wasn't so much of what I was thinking about. Yeah. So I think I was looking at her as just as a person. The title, not so much.
At that time, because of the hospitality, you know, the way you welcome people, it was his first time to come to church. So even when maybe we do the introduction, you know, you measure with the visitor and not yourself. So I think we were measuring with the visitor and not ourselves. And then after that, we also had a dinner. So out of maybe talking I invited him for a dinner, and I.
So
told
you
him,
also liked him
No, you know,
did you know he was single? Like,
no, I didn't know he was single, but you know, as you welcome people, you want people to come and join. So any activity that you have, you tell the visitor that we have this activity. And there was a dinner that was there. In fact, it was like 2 weeks. In the next 2 weeks, that dinner will be. So I told him, by the way, we have a dinner. Why don't you come for the dinner? So it was just an invitation, just like that. And then also the teacher, his teacher, I think he also emphasized on it. Why don't you come for the dinner? So
the teacher knew you two people were single. Ni like nika connection alikuwa na push.
Not really a connection, because like when he came, he came for the service. He was just invited for a service. So I was also doing my job as the hospitality leader. So we didn't have hey, there's a guy who will be coming and that guy is single and he's looking for a wife. No, we didn't have that. It was just the way you can meet someone. You can go to maybe to a meeting, then you meet someone. After meeting that person, you just maybe you look at that person and say, wow, that person, there's just something different. Yeah, so it was just like that. And then I think also like when we were talking at the hospitality, I think there was just something that made us to bond, you know, as in there was just something that, and
Wow. One thing I love about you, it's the love you have for Christ. I really love the way you just love Christ, the way you worship. It's just so amazing. Again, let me ask you, how long did you wait? You know, like nowadays people, they don't have that patience of waiting to get married. And you know, there are so many people who think like, you know, when you're saved, automatically uta get married. They'll know, hakuna struggles, hakuna nini. How was it?
I begin okay, for me it was like being in church. You know, I've grown up in church. And like I really waited, you know, as in you look at your friends, they come, get married, they leave you there. And you know, I was a worship leader, and at that time, and I used to lead worship. And something funny, you know, the other day I was making a joke and telling the congregation, telling them that the way people would come, join the worship team, and they would get married, and they would leave me there. Something funny, I'm the one leading the worship, but the backup, the backup are being noticed. People are noticing them, but me, I'm in front, serving, and yet, you know, people are not coming. But one thing I thank God is that I didn't reach to that point where I became desperate. Because I knew in the right time, God will come and He will make a way, because there is nothing that is impossible with God. So I would support my brothers and sisters in the worship team. I will always be on the line. You know, like every person who was getting married, I will always be on the line. And out of there, they would tell me, where Pasi. And at that time, I was a pastor still.
Imagine,
they would tell me, Pasi, wewe ndio utakuwa kwanza. Ndio uonekane pia, you know. So I would be there. But I waited, and until around my around 30, that is when we met. So imagine now hizi miaka zote 20s going to 30s, that is when you're getting married. Yeah, but God was faithful. You know, the best thing, you know, as what I can encourage the young people is don't get desperate. Yeah. Because when you get desperate, you just fall to anything that comes your way. So you just need to wait upon God. And when you wait upon God, God knows the right person for you. And the right person, you know, I always say, if I got married those years when my friends were getting married, I don't think I'll be this happy with my husband or in my marriage. Because I am happy and I enjoy every bit of it. So I say waiting, it was worth. It was worth. It was worth because God gave me the best.
And He makes all things beautiful.
Yes. At his time.
Oh yes. Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Maybe my husband can ask.
Yeah. Him also waiting.
Yeah, him also waiting.
Yeah, I think it was just the same thing. Well, I mean, I was maybe there's a point in my life when I thought that I wanted to get married, and then it didn't happen. Actually, like, I think 2 instances before but then just the way she's saying, I think you don't need to get desperate because God's timing is the best. Because when I look back today, I didn't even think about those other relationships. I'm just saying that I think God was right.
Preparing you to the right person.
Yeah, to the right person. And actually preparing my heart, because I think if I hadn't gone through what I went through, then even getting into this other relationship will not have been possible, or it will not have worked the way it has worked. So I think everything that happens in our lives, it happens with a reason. And God is able to make good things out of every broken thing, every scar that we go through. God is able to make the best out of it. Yeah, so we don't even if you're crying right now, just get up and move on. Yeah, trust God that better things are ahead of you.
And I love the way Pastor Shiko was saying that she was busy serving. You know, when you're in worship, you don't care what people are saying. They'll tell you, come, you join the line, you know, I'm getting married. And she was there supporting. You know, many people feel like, you know, like, I'm not going to do, una feel vibaya, you know. And I love the way you say that you are always there supporting them. And even when your wedding came, people also supported you. You know, like, now, there are so many things that are happening. And you've seen the way people are getting married. And now, wanaachana to even within a year, what do you think it's just happening? And especially in church, and especially in church.
I think the biggest problem that we are having is we are not ourselves. We are not ourselves, as in we want to pretend a lot. And that, you know, when you get married, you get to know this person, the real him. And then you just realize that this is not the person that I knew. When we were relating, it's not the same person that I've gotten married to. So I would just tell people, young people, and especially when you're in a relationship, just be yourself. Just being yourself. You know, as in, if you go to a hotel, if you eat a whole plate, please just eat. Let this person know. Let him know that mina kula. That when I get married to you, please, hautani starve ati nikule chips mbili tatu.
Alafu nabakisha
na nalipa. Aya pana. You know, just be yourself. Eat and mwambie nye leo nataka kuongeza sosi mbili. Is it okay? Ama let me add sosi mbili nitalipa. But you see, now the biggest problem is that we want to pretend. We want to pretend that we live a very high life, you know, as in we have this. We even pretend where we live. You know, somebody will tell you, mimi wa Islands. Kani Jerry, kami nimelelewa Jerry. Sheng lazima tuingize. Hatukusangi sheng hapa na pale, you know. So just be yourself. Let this person know who you are. Be yourself. Appreciate each other the way you are. Don't demand so much from this other partner. You know, at times, like ladies, we want to demand so much. You want, like, when you go out, the man is the only person who just pay for the bill. No, at times even you can pay for the bill.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
you can pay for the bill. Just tell him, Twendel, today it's on me. It's on me. Come, I'll treat you.
Wow.
So let's be ourselves. And with that, hatutakuwa na surprises when we get married. So one of the things that most people are inafanyika is they get wanakuwa na so many surprises when they get married.
Yeah.
When I realize, this person,
it's not the person I met.
It's not the person I met. Utauliza somebody, mshaikasirishana na huyu jamaa ati
kwanza hiyo mukata anasema then go make sure I even give them like 6 months and then mkosane kwa sababu that is not normal. Lazima mkosane. Yeah, that is very true.
And then the other thing is you're looking having role models that are not real. You want to be, I want to be like Julia or More, the way she is, the way she talks. No, it can't be that.
And me and people are different. You don't know my struggles, what I go through.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
And also, like, so when I visit you, I want everything that is in your house.
How now?
And you see, our pockets are different. My husband, maybe what he's earning, it's not what your husband is earning. So when I demand from him, I want this, I want this, I want this, which is, you know, it's bringing a lot of conflict in the house.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I think one thing that I think is a big problem is unrealistic expectations.
Wow. Wow.
Expectations which are
they are not real. They are not even. Oh no. Yeah.
So you're getting into that marriage, expecting to get this.
Yeah.
You don't get this. You get this. You get frustrated. You get disappointed, and so you decide
to live. And you think like, and you know, I usually say it's just two imperfect people coming together, and you really have to understand each other, the way you're handling things, the way you're doing. But I thank God the way you say that we have to be real, so that things may work. We have seen so many things are happening, people killing each other, and it's only because of small things.
Very.
We'll take yeah, it's okay, you can say, and then we take a short break.
Two
imperfect people. Yes.
You think you are perfect, you are going to marry.
Yeah, then forgetting about it. Yes.
And then one other thing I think that we also take for granted, people don't take seriously the issue of premarital counseling.
Yes.
So maybe some people don't go through it. Some go through it, but for the sake, because
for the sake, said,
so we'll go through it,
and
then we will get married, but what they get out of it, they don't put it in their heart. So they just go through it as a routine. But they're not serious about it. But for me, I think, no one has ever been in marriage. You have to be prepared to get into marriage. So when people are not prepared, then it's very easy for them to get into it, get disappointed,
and then they, wow. Well, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back after the break. Wow, welcome back. This is PENZI HALISI, and we have Moses and Rev Shiko and Pastor Moses. Wacha niache nini, Pastor Moses. Karibuni sana, and we had such a beautiful discussion. And you tell us, how was it when you're getting married? Were your people okay marrying somebody from Central? How was it?
Of course, you know, I think you just understand that it's not easy. It is not easy. People, there will be opposition from some quarters, but for me, I think it depends on the man and the person who's getting married to the girl, because if you are not resolved to do that, then you'll back off. But for me, I did not back off. Of course, there are people in the family or even around us who are not for that idea, and because they'll tell you, oh, see, if you marry this one, this is going to happen, this is going to happen.
Atabeba watoto.
Yani sisi tu wanga tu wakikutu.
And but I think for me, I thank God, because my mother was very supportive. My mother was very supportive, and in spite of what other people said, and in spite of what other people thought about that decision, she stood with me. So, you know, for me, of course, my dad was not was deceased at that time. So, if for me, once my mother was okay with the idea, any other thoughts did not matter to me. Yeah.
Wow. And you, Shiko?
For me, at the beginning, it wasn't that easy. As in now going to tell the parents that I'm getting married to this. It wasn't easy. And I remember when we were courting, and he would tell me, see, so you plan, we go to your place, and I would tell him, yes, we will.
Because you knew your people.
It's true. I didn't know how they would react. So I remember one day we decided, we were just in town talking. He had come from Sudan, so we had just met, and we went, ate, and then I was going to see my sister. So I told him, no, you, tutawachana hapa, you go your way, I go my way.
Yeah.
And but he told me, let me escort you mpaka pale. So that kuzindikisha, he escorted me mpaka to my sister's office. And when we reached there, there was another friend of ours also who was there, called Mrs. Nyerere, Eunice.
Yeah, I know
So
her lovely lady.
yeah, so when we went to the office, in fact, I didn't introduce him as my fiance. I just introduced him as Moses. This is Moses, my friend, and so when Eunice came, she just came, and you know,
Kalipo everything. Thank God for her. It's good.
We thank God for her. So she came and she said, "Hey, she go Meleta nani our brother-in-law. This is our in-law, you know." And you know, like almost all my sisters were there and my brothers, and I just looked at her and. You know, as in when you're not prepared, but I think it was the right time, because I had that fear now, you know, because of the tribal issue. I have that fear that I don't know how they will react. But imagine the first day they saw him, they met him, they just loved him.
Wow.
They loved him, they loved him. And then my sisters, they went and told Madi, hey, Chumeletio in-law, we have Abjalu who is coming. So after that, you know, like now when my mom knew, so it was easier for me. It was, I think, I always say it was a godly thing that, you know, God, the way God ordained your steps. You don't have courage to do something. God uses somebody else to come to do that. Because I didn't have courage to go and introduce him. No, we are with him there. My relatives are there, but I don't have that courage. But when Eunice came, she did that. Then my sisters went to mom and told mom, hey, we have this one. So it was very easy for me to tell them, now I'll bring Moses. Moses will be coming. So when Moses came, my mom loved him. He just loved him. Kabisa. And I think he's lovable.
Yeah. And you know something else. The way we are taking this whole thing of tribal. At times, you know, we really know people when the election comes. You will really know, like your neighbor. Kumbe your neighbor was a Luo, or your neighbor was a Kamba, and you start fighting each other. And yet you are living so peacefully.
Kabisa.
And what do you think about it? You know,
it's very true. During the election or during the campaigns, you know, that time of campaign, that is when we go as Kikuyus, we camp around and we begin to say yes, so and so. And you know, like now me, I've been brought up in Jerry. Jerry, our neighbors were Luo, Baluya, and whatever.
Baluyas
And you know,
yeah.
when you don't have salt in the house, where do you run to? To
Your
that
neighbor,
Muluya.
imagine.
When you put unga kwa ugali, you're making the ugali, and then ikiisha na ijashikana, where do you run to? To that Muluya. At that time, they're your brothers, they're your sisters, they are everything to you. But when it comes to during the election time, that is when we have this at you when mjaka wait. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. And that is, I always say it's a small demon.
Yeah.
Because now when like us,
it's not even small, it's a big demon.
It's a big demon.
Yeah, big demon. Actually, it's very big. Yeah.
Very big because it's dividing us. It's dividing us. And this other time, we are not divided. We are united. And you know, at times people ask us, how do you relate during that time of election and whatever? But something funny, I think God has really has done what has we don't see each other in the line of tribal.
Wow.
I see him as Moses.
Amen.
And he looks at me as Shiko.
Wow.
And with that, you know, we are people that we love each other.
Amen.
And our tribe doesn't come anywhere in between us. It's nowhere. In fact, maybe somebody reminds me, Sazela, Mose ni Mkabila. That is when I realize, oh, Mose is a Luo. Oh, he's a Luo. And at times, even when I say he's a Luo, it doesn't have any issues on me. Yeah, it doesn't. Because I take him as Moses, my husband, the person that I love, the person that he cares for me. You know, I don't look at him as a Luo, because Luo is a tribe. I look at him as a human being.
That is very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
you don't. Oh, that is so powerful.
He's not a community. Because when we speak of a Luo, that is a community.
A community. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But he's a person. A person that God has created.
Wow.
So it's not the tribal thing that unites us. It is the love that unites us.
Wow.
And you know what God has put in us, that is what that unites us. Yes.
Wow. And I love the way you're saying, and you know, our children will learn about it. You know, the children we are bringing at Metoka, you know, them, they don't know even tribe. Then they say they are Kenyans.
Yes.
It's us who wants to divide them, you know.
Yes.
And I really thank God for that. And I pray that this election, people will love each other. People will be there for each other. You're not going to attack your brother because he's from a different tribe. People will have a peaceful election, and people will love each other. And it's time to pray also as Christians, even at this time. And
I think even as you mentioned Christians, I think when it comes to the issue of tribe and tribalism and that kind of thing, I think Christians have a responsibility to rise above other people, because God has called us to be ambassadors of Christ. Amen. And being ambassadors of Christ, it means that we represent God here on earth. And since we represent God here on earth, it means that we have to show that godly love and we speak on behalf of God. And if that is what God has called us to be, and if we live that way, then it means that the issue of tribe will not be so much of a big issue. But right now, what is happening, even in church, the church is also affected. The church is also affected as much as the world is. The world is affected, which is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like that. Yeah, the church, I think we have a responsibility to be the light of the world and the salt of the world. Wow. And when you do that, it means that we will help to influence the rest of the society. Right now, as just like you have said, next is elections, and if you want to know if you are a Christian or not, then that is the time to know.
That is what my husband usually say. It is the time to know. Yeah.
Whether you are following Christ or you are following someone, a human being. Yeah, I think that is a big challenge for us
even in the church.
But you have to rise up to be the light of the world and the salt of the world.
Amen.
Yeah.
I'm praying that we shall arise and above. And as you say that we follow Christ.
Yes.
What is Christ saying? That we love each other. Simply, unasema tu. But you know, when it comes to church, pia tunataka kukua Wajaluo wasimame hii side, Wakamba wako hii side, nini. And even you always see even in church. But I think the way we say it, we are the light.
Yeah.
People will learn from that. And let me ask you, how do you solve your conflicts? Unajua kukosana lazima inakuwa. The challenges of life They have to be there. How do you solve them?
Let me begin maybe by saying that conflict has to be there. And if we have a relationship where there is no conflict, it is not real. It's not a real relationship. So one conflict will be there. But I think one of the, for us, what we have decided is, I think you must decide in your mind that if conflict comes, this is the way we are going to deal with it. But I think sometimes people don't do that. They wait for conflict to come, then when it comes, that's when they want to decide, now what do I do? But I think for us, we have some ground rules on how we deal with our conflict. And I think one of them is, one, we know that we are in one team. So conflict should not come to break us. As much as we'll disagree,
I love that.
but at the end of the day, we remember that this is one team. And if you are in one team, then I don't need to hurt her. And then two, we have also said that violence, as much as we'll disagree, but let it not be violent. Physically violent or even verbally violent, it should not be there. So those are ground rules that we have. And the third thing I think we say is that let conflict come, but resolve it as soon as possible.
Wow.
Don't let it
wait.
Wait for forever.
Resolve it there.
Wow. Because the Bible says very well in Ephesians 4:26-27 that be angry, but do not let the sun go down while you're still angry. So if there is that conflict, disagreement, then try to resolve it as soon as you can. Of course, it's not easy. It's not realistic to say that if you have a conflict today that we will resolve it today. We can postpone it and resolve it tomorrow, but there is a way in which we are able to control the situation and to relate with one another in such a way that we don't hurt one another.
And I love the way you said about violence. And you see many people are hurting each other. They're killing each other. At times it really makes me so sad that you can live with a person, you wake up in the morning and you kill that person, like you've lived together and you have children, you just wake up, kill everyone. It's really not making sense at all.
I think for me, when I talk to many couples or many young people, one thing that I always tell, especially the men, don't raise your hand. Don't raise your hand, because sometimes you can do it in anger, thinking that nothing bad is going to come out of it, but then you just unamslap tu, kumbe already alikuwa kuna issues zake, then someone just dies, someone just collapses. It becomes a big issue. So just from the very beginning, please just keep your hands to yourself. Just keep your hands to yourself, because don't be violent at all. If you disagree, then just keep quiet. Just keep quiet, cool down, and then, but don't be violent.
Even walk a little bit and then maybe come back when things have settled. Instead of killing someone and it's somebody's child also, you've lived with them. It's really not good.
And I think the biggest problem that people are having is they accumulate issues. They accumulate issues. And then also when you look at their marriage, they live on the negative side. Like at times you may ask a couple, tell me some of the things that your wife is doing that are hurting you. And you will find a person can really say so many things. So many things. He can have a list of bad things that the wife have done, and the wife also has bad things that the husband has done. And then I would tell them, now write me the good things that your wife and your husband has done. And at times you find like they think, now anything good? And I would ask him, anything good? He provides.
Imagine.
Any other thing, when you compare the list of the bad and the list of the good, you find bad like they are like 50 and good they are like 10. So you find most couples are living, are dwelling on the bad things. And when you lay your foundation on the bad things, then there will be no marriage. Because your foundation is laid on the bad thing. Oh, jana alinifanya. Oh, jana kafanya. Oh, you know, all those things. There is nothing else that is ringing in your head. You just, your mind, your heart, when you think about your husband, you think of the bad thing. And you see, when you think of the bad thing, then bitterness rise. It gets in you. And when you try to think of good thing, there's nothing that you can see. So I always tell couples, please look at the good thing that your husband is doing, that your wife is doing. And that is one thing that has really helped us, that we really major on the good thing. We don't allow ourselves to focus on the bad thing, because you know, in life musema kama uko sana na brother ama madhe, you know, my mother who ula ameniza kama nitakosana naye, then how much this jamaa I've met him akiwa this mature. Tunakwambia we got married in our 30s.
Yes.
If I've stayed with my mom all na tunakosananga what about this man that I don't know?
Imagine.
Tutakosana.
Tena sana.
Tena sana. Then I don't need to dwell on the bad thing. Let me look at the good side of it. Let me appreciate the things. Hata kama ni kidogo kidogo. Amejaribu.
On the good side, on the positive side. We don't want.
Yes.
So we are just dwelling on the negative side.
Unamwambia hakuna kitu mzuri yeye ufanya, hakuna, achana na huyu. You know, already usha give up. Usha give up. That's why you're always seeing the negative. So as a couple, what I can say is, let's focus on the positive. Let's look at the good side. If kama jana nilimwachia mtu ina kaka na mtoto the whole day, let's appreciate. Enye kaa hata kaa kumpea food. Because that is one thing. If I mwacha mtu ananiambia na mtali kula ati ana njaa. So appreciate. Usipige kelele. Appreciate amekana mtoto, at least ume relax, you've done something different. But usikuja kaanza kupiga nilikuacha mtoto hajakula appreciate. Kama mtoto hajakula, chukua chakula umpatie akule.
Okay, wacha niulize. Na mmeshaisota, like have you ever gone without food? Like have you ever like sitaki kusema poa si jina poa. Have you kusota hiyo. I understand. Have you ever like been, and especially
bila
now
anything,
like you don't have anything, have you ever reached that time that you just look at each other? You know, that is where now people even fight more, when you don't have money, when you don't have anything in the house. How do you get together when that time, like sayo hamna anything, mna kujangaje? You know, that is where now even people fight more instead of coming together. How do you do that? Have you ever gone like that?
Yeah, we've gone to that extent when you don't have anything. And when that time came, you know, like you don't have anything even to cook, but you just find a visitor anakuja anatuletea mawaru.
Imagine.
And I remember my husband akiniambia karanga hizo mawaru tukule. You know, and that waru doesn't have nini, you know, like mchele, aina nini, aina maragwa, aina, it's waru
peke.
Mumekaranga tu hapo hivyo waru, mkaka chini mnaziko. And I remember that time when we were eating those two waru kavu. We were really enjoying the waru. Is it nini, ni tamu. Ni tamu sana. You know, because at times when I find amna do, amna anything, but if you measure on this money, you know, like when we are saying the vows, we say for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer. But at times I always say that, so tunasema hii tu kama a formality, you know, as in it's just a routine that lazima nitasema easy vow. But you know, the reality of it, it's when ina happen, it's hit you, ina happen, unajipata muna food kwa nyumba, munakaa hivi, munaangaliana, mnashindwa. Even before we got married, hata tukidate, saa zingine hatuna do, tunaulizana tutenda wapi, tuende Uhuru Park. Tunaenda tunakaa Uhuru Park. Tunapiga story, after kupiga story, then tuende home. You know, from the relationship, to allow ourselves to become ourselves. Because tungekuwa hatuna do, tuko na 50 bob ama tuko na so hizo tunataka kubonda. So where do we go? Mbao fare. Then mbao yo kurudi. Kwenda tao, unajua tulikuwa tukipanga mbao, alafu ya mbao sio ni 40 bob. Alafu tena mbao 40. Tunabaki na mbao nyingine. Ludhuli tunabai chipo moja.
Na mna bond.
Tunaenda Uhuru Park, we walk mpaka Uhuru Park, we sit down. Ile chipo yo moja, then we talk. Then so when it happened in the house, as in we didn't have anything, we were there still to hold each other, encouraging each other, and trusting. And we would even pray more and telling God, Lord, may you remember that. Yes, that right now we don't have, but we know that one day you will give us. And for sure, God has been faithful.
Amen. Yeah. Wow, Moses, I think time is not on our side. Tell us parting shots. Ya mwisho sasa.
I think what I'd like to say is maybe just based on what you've been talking about is life is about seasons. And because life is about seasons, sometimes you'll be up, sometimes you'll be down. So, and God does not change. God doesn't change. When you are up, God is still God. When you are down, God is still God. So the important thing I think that I've learned over the years is to learn to trust in God. I normally say that don't put your hope and trust in people. That is the biggest mistake many people make, and especially right now, as you go into the elections, people are thinking that another leader is going to come, things are going to become better. He will come, but he'll disappoint you. He's going to disappoint you. So rather than putting our trust in people, we trust in God. He's a God of all seasons, and He doesn't change. Situations will change, circumstances will change, the economy will go up and down, but God does not change. And so if you put our trust in Him, we are sure that tomorrow is going to be much, much better than today.
Wow, Pastor Shiko, tell us something. Encourage the ladies and the young ones, the older ones.
Okay, what I can say is, especially on marriage, is that marriage works. Please, when you're getting into marriage, don't enter with a second option. Just enter with one option. I'm there, nimeingia na sitoki. Nimeingia. You know, most of young people, tunasema, if I get in, if it doesn't work, I walk out. Oh, where are you going?
Yeah.
You've already committed yourself in that. So, I just want to tell you that marriage works. Ingia na roho moja, enjoy.
Wow.
Enjoy your marriage. Because manze, life is too short. Let me
to start. It's true. Actually, it's very true. Yeah.
So enjoy every bit of it. Don't allow circumstance to dictate you. Don't allow situation to dictate you. Enjoy and trust in God.
Wow.
Because just the way the word of God tells us that He'll never leave us nor forsake us. When things are hard, He says He will never leave us. When things are good, He says He will never leave us.
Amen.
He is there with us. So ingia na roho moja, ingia enjoy marriage. There is fun in marriage. Marriage is not boring. We've been there for quite some time and we are still enjoying. And we still feel young, very young, very young. So get in, enjoy yourself. And also if you're in Thika, karibu. Ananas Mall.
Wow.
ICC Thika. We are there. Karibu sana.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Pastor Moses and Pastor Shiko. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your stories and even encouraging us. This is Penzi Halisi. I'm your host, Julie Omore. Thank you so much for watching.